Hello, I'm excited about this episode. I think this will tie a lot together. So, welcome, welcome. Let's dive right in. We talked earlier this morning about communication being kind of like the larger overarching topic that a lot of the attunement stuff and the conflict stuff and the other stuff from last week fit into. So, how do we improve our communication when it comes to working together, which will also improve the communication for making those connections? But I want to focus on how, because that's what I noticed last week with the contest was a lot of the complaints and criticisms seem to revolve around communication, either from me to other people within the team that was kind of pulling it off, or between collaborators, between partners. So I want to try to come up today with some tools that might help us get better at that. Oh, hang on. What happened? Oh. I put this new extension on my browser today, and it's messing everything up, so bear with me. Alrighty, here we go. It's coordinated autonomy, which is kind of what collaboration is. Everybody has their own individual role, their unique style, approach, vision, everything. Their unique needs, their own way of leadership, their own way of followership. So you you have to organize all of that. So the communication is more about how to coordinate that than it is other purposes. So it, it's like cats. It's a bunch of weird, independent, like I said, individual humans with each have very particular ways of doing things that are all trying to go in the same direction and without stepping on each other's toes. So most of it comes down to communication gaps, assumptions. We see so many of those around here. I watch assumptions all day long in conversations, and I try to step into the conversation and identify them or question them or troubleshoot them. Invisible expectations. These show up a lot too, mostly when they're not met. And I realize that I have this about myself too. This is what I call that control freakiness or that dominance, that need to dominate. It takes the form of it's a quiet dominance. It's an invisible expectation dominance. And it takes the form of me expecting people to act a certain way or do certain things or be certain people. And when they don't, I get a very, very negative reaction because the reality of who they are is not aligning with my invisible expectations of who I think they should be. And I don't even notice I have those until they suddenly stop meeting them. And then I start getting all this negative, it could be anger, disappointment, frustration, and directed at this person. And then I have to check myself and say, wait a minute, this person's not doing anything wrong. They don't answer to you, they don't owe you what it is you're upset about. You don't own them, you don't control them. So your reaction is purely one of them not meeting your invisible expectations, which is a form of control. Another one is role confusion. We saw a lot of that. I think in a good way. I think we saw a lot of that in a way that let us learn from it and get better. And emotional static. I'm pretty sure we still see a lot of that. All right, so let's look at some of these tools. The role clarity thing is the staying in your lane. And in the form of sometimes it takes the role here on this panel with me not being the panel facilitator. Either I fail to do my job on here, or more often other people come and try to turn the panel into what they think it should be, or start telling me how I should be running the panel. And that's where I think some role confusion happens on individual channels. But as far as the collaboration, the contest, um, there were no clear roles really, and so I saw people try to step into just arbitrary roles that they were kind of feeling out, and sometimes they overlapped on other people's roles. And so having more clear communication about what roles do we need, because there's no reason to have roles if they don't serve a purpose. So which roles do we actually need? Who's the best people for those roles? And then what are the responsibilities of those roles? So they'll know where their lines are, and then when to let other people do their part of the roles. And this is very common in collaboration and in workplaces, just role clarification. And a lot of times neurotypicals can just kind of pick up on these things and adjust. And for people like me, we need it really spelled out. Otherwise, I'm not going to know any of this. I'm not going to know what the expectations are. I'm not going to know what my role is. I'm not going to know when I'm crossing over it. I'll definitely know when someone's crossing into mine, though, as long as I know what mine is. And it says most collaboration collapses because nobody knows who's doing what, who's responsible for what, who's waiting on whom, and it gets confusing. And then the collaboration collapses. But that confusion can be redressed through communication. Communication is what clarifies confusion. So confusion is fog, and communication is like the light that begins to shine through the fog. It's like lasers through a fog. And so the more of that you have, you want to keep those open channels going, and you want to have information flowing back and forth. That's what minimizes that fog. It's when that stops or slows down or gets blocked or something that that fog starts to appear, and then that it fills in with confusion. Particularly for neurodivergent, because neurotypicals, I think, like kind of have a way of feeling their way through the fog or just working with the fog. Somehow they know what to do. And I think neurodivergent people sometimes when the fog happens, I know for me it's almost crippling. Because when I'm in a state of confusion and I don't know what's going on anymore, I have meltdowns. Like my whole brain collapses. I can't do it. I can't go forward. There's no clear direction. There's no signals to follow. And so I just kind of stop. I just detach. And um, so having ways to clarify those roles. And it's just simple things like just, again, communication. Just kind of having little phrases you can say like, here's what I believe I'm responsible for. Here's what I think someone else's fault. Here's what I think is my job. Here's what I think is not my job. That kind of stuff, like clarifying those limits, or better yet, strengths based. Here's what I'm good at. Here's where I think I will be best at. Here's what I bring to the project. These are my strengths. These are my skills, and this is my weakness. This was I'm not what I'm not good at. And so people can keep you in your areas of strength, and then you can know everybody else's strengths and start matching them together to create a better project. This can reduce conflict because if people have that clear understanding ahead of time, they're less likely to start bumping into those confusions. And the mind reading. Um, I think that's that. Remember that vibe culture we talked about, and how some cultures are perhaps neurotypicals rely more off of this nonverbal, unspoken vibe reading. And so this sometimes that's not going to always get the roles right, especially like we saw in the contest. A lot of the contest was kind of put together with a combination of vibes and communication. And so the vibe reading part I think is where some of it might have gotten fuzzy. And again, not in I don't have any complaints about the contest at all. I've done plenty of theater. I know that each rehearsal you learn and you get your notes and then you know what to go back and change. But that no rehearsal is like a bomb. And to me, this went off way better than I imagined, or I could even pull it off by myself. So I'm just noticing ways to make it better in the future. But I don't really have anything to say bad about it. Of this is where it went wrong. This was where it was a disaster because I didn't really see any of that. I just see ways to make it even better. And so that's kind of what this is about as well. All right, a tool to bring those expectations into light. This is where, like, I run into this one a lot too, where I feel like people have expectations of me, and then when I don't meet them, I get a certain reaction or a certain vibe. The vibe changes, and I'm not even aware of the expectations, or that I am accountable to the person for meeting arbitrary expectations that they just throw on me. Because that's not collaboration. If I'm just putting expectations on you that you don't even that you're not even aware of or participated in, then I'm having to live up to a standard that's being imposed on me that I didn't consent to. And so, A, I'm not aware that that's even happening, and even if I am aware, let me be a part. If there's an issue or something, let me be a part of that. Don't just arbitrarily. I guess this goes to that micromanagement thing. Don't try to manage me from the sidelines. Let's do it together. That's where the community's going to grow best, and the connections are going to happen if we collaborate together on solutions. Um, it says drag the invisible into daylight. I love doing that. But I don't like doing that at the expense of damage to the community or even damage to individuals. So it's how to do that in a way that keeps everything else intact. And I think that's what this second set of tools is going to teach us. Every group has expectations. So we're not looking for like expectation free zone. We're just looking a way to understand what those expectations are and make them a little more clear. Even here, this community definitely has expectations. And I talk about them all the time. There's behavioral expectations, there's conversational expectations. On certain days, there's topic expectations. And a lot of people, especially neurodivergent people, if that's not explicit, then they may not pick up on that every time. And again, these tools, since these are communication tools, they're most likely going to take the form of questions and or phrases or statements you can use. So these are questions, and it's simply asking, like, okay, before we begin this collaboration, what are your expectations that you have, or do you have any expectations of me that might surface? And then what expectations am I bringing to this that I might not even be aware of? So that gives everyone a chance to talk, kind of check it with themselves, bring the current expectations into the light, put them on the table so everybody kind of knows the starting point that everybody's working with. I think this last contest kind of happened organically, but I think if you're going to do it intentionally from the start, this is a good first thing to do. Just whoever's involved, have everybody meet and kind of check. And you could even do it on a panel and kind of check in. Okay, this second round, what are our expectations of each other? And get a good rough draft of that out in the open to start from as a reference point. It's going to cut down on some of that disappointment. It's going to cut down again on the mind reading, the guessing games, the what am I supposed to do? What do they expect of me? What is my role? And very importantly, and you know how big I am on this, it's going to start to um, inaugurate that transparency. If everything like that is out in the open, that's going to create transparency, which creates trust. Transparency builds trust. I say that all the time. The more, and that's why I try to be so transparent, because it's me trying to build trust with all of you. And the more open and transparent somebody can be with me, the more likely I am to trust them. That's why if I have to pull answers out of someone or fight to get an answer, or I ask for an answer and they kind of waffle or shift or I start to not trust them because that transparency is just not there from the start. Because if you're being open and authentic, at least for me, it's very easy for me to just answer, just give you the information because I want to build that trust. So sharing things like expectations up front helps to start that process. This one, I don't think came into play as much, but it's about perfectionism. And I have my own version of this. That's all that I've always used. Is that I'm not a perfectionist, but to help cut down on perfectionism, good enough is good enough for me. And so they call it the 70% rule. If something is 70% good enough, then you can call it good and move on to the next thing. It doesn't have to be perfect because that can create bottlenecks, that can create delays. You can always come back later and touch it up, edit it. So if things are getting bogged down production wise, but something is 75% collaborated on, then you can turn in the 70% version and have the other collaborators start with that. And so what that does is they don't have to wait for the whole project. They can start doing something in the meantime. It cuts down on overwhelm. They can get a little bit of it to start, enough of it to start without having the whole thing come at them at once. You get feedback earlier. Hey, let me show you a little bit of the rough draft and you can start telling me what you think. It also opens that communication pipeline and gets that communication going early. It's encouraging the communication. It's inviting it. It's giving it a place to come and land as often as it wants. So little things like that, laying down those opportunities for communication to happen, getting the habit started, getting people comfortable with it. That's all part of the communication collaboration process. Collabocation, I guess we could call it. And don't isolate. It doesn't mean you have to like check in every hour of the day, but check in periodically. Maybe just message once or twice a day, but just anything to just signal that you're not isolated. And that way, if there is anything to communicate, it creates little moments to pass that off without having to create more difficulty in the way. So it's like some people like might want to go and work on the project till it's perfect, and they're saying send a rough draft periodically, even if it's not perfect. If it's 70%, send that rough draft, and then that gives them something to start on and something to give feedback on, and you could continue to work and make it closer to 100 in the meantime. And then they give the little concept of modes and having what they call mode check-in. So I'll throw this out there. We can see what we think of it. But especially in a collaboration, things can move so fast. Your brain can switch from so many different like approaches and ways of thinking and doing to another. And so knowing which mode people are in at different times and which ones interface better than others. Some people get in brainstorm mode. I stay in that mode a lot. Brainstorm mode, problem solving mode. Some people are in editing mode. We have a lot of editors around here that work from editing mode. Some people come from decision mode. This is what needs to happen. This is what needs to be next, etc. And some people, this is an interesting one, emotional venting mode. And sometimes these modes clash. I think this is kind of an expansion of that vibe logic thing, vibe information based dichotomy we saw. I think there's like other little clusters that can clash and overlap and stuff. So kind of knowing I'm in brainstorm mode right now. That's why I'm animated. That's why I'm excited. That's why the conversation's moving fast. That's why the energy is like it is. I'm in problem solving mode. That's why I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm trying to understand what's needed for the collaboration. Do you have a few minutes to answer some questions? Can I nail down some details, etc.? Hey, I'm in editing mode. Can I just get you to look at this and tell me what you think about these changes? Or do you have any other changes you suggest, etc.? Or, hey, I'm in decision mode. We need a decision on this because I have to turn this in. So could I get everybody to weigh in on what we're going to do with this, etc. So that could help. Actually, going through it, I like it already. I'll try to keep some of those in mind. And here's another thing to think about is I'm in brainstorming mode, but what mode do you need from me right now? Brainstorming mode may not be what you need for the collaboration. And so maybe you need me to be in problem solving mode or decision making mode. And so communicate that. And then if you're able to switch modes, that will help the collaboration continue. Again, it cuts down on those mismatched expectations and it gives people a chance to show up in a way that they can be effective and contribute. And when it happens, when people can give their contributions and have them be meaningful and contribute to the project, and they can see that as part of the process, that motivates them to continue to get engaged and to do even better. So this is only going to help your project and your collaboration. And if you're in this mode, this collaboration communicate mode, when conflict does start to begin, if your goal is to de-escalate it, it gives more of a window and like tools to kind of de-escalate some of that conflict as part of this collaboration information exchange. Um, they also suggest what they call a check-in loop, which is just a short little check-in throughout the day, and it kind of just keeps the information circling. It's not a static meeting like I guess a football huddle. It's just maybe you DM them to ask a question. They pass on a image to you they want you to look at, etc. Just make sure to keep touching communication with the person throughout the day and keep a circuit going. It could be daily, weekly, however long the project requires it. And this is a big one. I think we should start thinking about this for the panelverse in general. Um, triangulation. It's called the no triangle rule. What it breaks down to is if you have a problem with someone, talk to them. Don't go talk to their friend about them. Don't go on a panel about them. Talk directly to them. Now I guess the only caveat would be as a backup if you're not able to talk directly to them. A lot of people will come and bring in a third person at that point. But that's when the collaboration starts to become jeopardized. So for the sake of collaborative communication, talking directly to the person and having it just be one-on-one instead of a triangle is always going to be best. It's called a direct channel. Direct channels, the more you can fortify them and have it be that healthy, back and forth, open channel of communication, the better it's going to make your collaboration. So that's the ideal. Every channel that you can get like that, every spoke of your collaboration team. It also prevents what they call gossip spirals. Builds trust. Well, it says it builds trust through directness. But I don't think directness always builds trust with people. I think sometimes directness can be a barrier to trust. But I might do a whole different topic on that because I'm seeing that come into play as well. And then finally, they suggest as a very last resort backup plan, before you start collaborating, you communicate about how to end it amicably if you need to. Like, at what point do we decide the collaboration's not working? And if we get to that point, how do we end it peacefully, shake hands, leave the door open for future collaboration or not? So it doesn't just devolve. Like when it gets to that point, it starts to just unravel and devolve. And so if you can go in ahead of time and make a plan for when you reach that point, sometimes you can do an exit strategy that lets you keep some of the collaboration and communication intact. Because for networking, which is part of what we're trying to build here, community and a support network, keeping relationships intact can be very important. So that's what I have on the collaboration tools for today. Tonight, if you want to come up and tell your stories, I'll be doing the campfire. Right now, if you want to come up and talk about these topics or problem solve, if you have an issue you want us to look at, I'll drop the link. There you go. All right, let me take a look at comments. I already see Frank down there. Hello, Daniel Barry. Happy Thursday. I'm totally nuts. What am I learning? I am learning. Get into giving me. Frank, I'd love to have. There's so many people I wish I could just assign memberships to. That would make cultivating an inner circle here a lot easier. But what I can offer is, it's not going to apply to you, Frank, but you're competition because you're just trying to use the resources for cow and chicken. Yeah, I did. I was in Boy Scouts and I used to run an outdoor group. I had the largest outdoor group in New Orleans, probably in Louisiana, and we went camping all the time. I used to live outdoors practically. I'm an outdoors person, very much. Um, Something bothered you about me, like I sounded gay and like I didn't belong around a campfire? I don't know. I'm confused. I've heard about that one, but I haven't seen it yet. But Frank, going back to membership, what we can offer is to certain regulars, because I only have a limited number of slots. Um, Customize sound clips so that when you come on the panel, you have your own theme song, your own sound effect, whatever sound you want that's YouTube friendly. We can customize it for you. And I want to have a little collection of sound clips for the regulars that have helped to build this channel and have been there from way back. So there you go. Oh, okay. Yeah, that one never caught my eye for some reason. And I never heard much about it, so I never bothered. And Frank, I tried to get Frank to help make the sound clips. They'd be customized by one of our great AI artists themselves, and possibly Uncle Fatty. So these are going to be high quality, artistically designed sound clips. Unless you provide your own. You also have the option of providing your own. Other than that, that's all I have until tonight. Had a pretty good day, had a good morning stream, and we're working on some future stuff. I think the channel and the content's going to change just a little bit around here, but we're mostly going to keep the same flow. Ah, we have a person. Let's check in with Norway.
Hello,
Welcome.
Jeff.
Uh-oh, what's wrong? You sound
No. I was just
achy.
stretching, just
Oh,
leaning back.
you
Because,
sounded painful.
it wasn't, but maybe it sounded like it. But,
Oh.
I'm slightly annoyed today because we were going to go to a quiz, but they had cancelled. And so there was nothing of it. It didn't happen, which is very annoying.
You didn't get to take
Although
a test?
No. Like a quiz at a restaurant or whatever. I'd go eat dinner with the friends, and they
Oh,
had
wait,
they
what?
would have a
What?
quiz
Say
master
what? Quiznos?
quiz.
What's that?
The word quiz, a questionnaire, pop quiz.
I'm so
Just
lost. Is it a restaurant?
a restaurant that just wait. Do you not know what the word quiz
It's
means?
a test. Like I thought you had a
Yeah.
test at your college. You had to go sit and
Oh
take a
no.
quiz.
No. Like a trivia test. Yeah, trivia night at
Are
a
you
local
are you saying
restaurant.
like bar trivia at a restaurant?
Yeah,
Okay, that
and it
no.
got
In America, we
canceled.
have no that would not we would not know what that was. We just call it bar trivia.
Yeah, no, it got cancelled, unfortunately. But I
We could do
suppose
trivia
that's
here.
yeah, I suppose that's fine because the last time we went, we got crushed because so many questions were so
You mean
like
there's people
obscure.
smarter than you in Norway?
Well, of course, but how am I supposed to know what that specific fjord in the northern part is called and what
Well,
its
I'm
special
surprised you
perch is
didn't. You
called?
know everything else. You didn't know the fjord?
Like how I so yeah, no, we didn't do that well there, but that's fine. That doesn't. I am kind of salty that we guessed wrong on the biggest country in Africa.
Which
Uh, I think it's
is
Algeria, but we
really, I
guessed
would not have
Congo.
guessed that one. I would have not
Uh,
guessed either one.
I don't remember which way it is, but it's either Algeria or Congo, because we guessed one of them and got it wrong. And we were kind of douchebags because another team had also written Congo, and they had just written Congo. And as you know, in Africa there are two countries called Congo. There's the Republic of Congo, and then there's like the Democratic Republic of Congo, or whatever. Two countries named Congo, and so we were.
Republics of Congo.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly the difference, but two Congos. Uh, but I don't remember if it mattered or not. But yeah, that was a bit douchebaggy, but it's important. It's important to differentiate. So yeah, and then so I watched Barry Lyndon instead, which was
What year
nice.
was that from?
Ooh,
Like the 70s?
1975, maybe.
That's about the
19.
drag queen?
No, no, 1975. It's a 18th century aristocrat
Oh
Irish
yeah, that's
boy.
same thing. That's
Oh,
okay.
what do you
That's
mean
the
the
one I'm
same
thinking
thing?
of. I'm sorry.
You're thinking of the spy in Berlin who has to wear makeup.
No, I was thinking of the aristocrat.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why did you say
I'm
drag
reoriented
queen?
now.
Why did
Well,
you say drag
I mean,
queen?
I had a costume like that for Mardi Gras. And it won the contest, so I can speak from experience. It's not the slam that it sounds like.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Shift! I thought you would like something like that. Norwegian trivia,
Trivia
or
is
maybe a joke, a
fun.
daily joke.
Trivia is fun when, you actually know the
When
questions.
you're
When the
drunk.
topics are bad, you know, it's just a humiliation ritual. If I'm gonna have to answer 20 questions about sports, I might get five, and for the remaining 15, it'll just be a hazing ritual.
But humility sometimes can be good for a person.
Yeah, yeah.
What's up,
Humility by
Dino?
not participating.
It's hard to be humble, but I try.
How do you think you're doing?
Not very good.
Oh,
It's a joke of the day, right?
yeah. Do you have anything to cheer us up?
Maybe we'll see. We'll see how this works out. What do a nearsighted gynecologist and a puppy have in common?
Nearsighted. That means you can see
Close up, only close up.
close up. Something about their sense of smell.
No,
They can tell by the smell.
It's sight.
a wet nose.
I'm not gonna probably get
A
this
wet
one.
nose. Wet nose.
Oh, okay.
That was kind
Do
of
you have
funny.
anything that will cheer us up?
What do you call a guy who cries when he masturbates? Tearjerker. Tearjerker.
Oh, I get it. I guess that's never happened to me. Okay. I guess that cheered me up a little bit from the last one. Thank you. Thank you, Dino. Thank you
I
for
ruined
our
enough
Dino
lives.
joke segment. The
Thank you.
Juiceable party. You mean in Discord? We could do it. We could have one in Discord.
Oh, he
Oh,
just joined to tell
he
two
just
jokes and then leave?
yeah, I guess
Our resident trickster then, huh?
he must be. We get one of we have a whole staff of them.
Oh, that reminds me of I don't remember his name, but a medieval trickster at medieval
No.
trickster at a Polish court, maybe. He was very beloved by the king, and but he went a bit too far and joked about the lady wife, and so the king, threatened death and said and said, because I am so fond of you, I will allow you to choose your method of death. And then the trickster responded, by old age, and so he was let loose.
That's a tricky trickster.
That is a tricky trickster.
And an
Usually
honorable
tricksters are just joking about flatulence and farting or whatever, but that guy,
That's what they did. That was their jokes.
not always, but
Oh,
you have to remember the tricksters. They are there constantly,
they're the truth
and they,
tellers.
yeah, actually, one of the most famous tricksters. You've probably seen the painting of the sad trickster who is sitting there crying.
Pagliacci.
I don't know if that's the one, but it's the Polish trickster who sits on the chair looking all despondent.
Let me look
Um,
him up.
trickster,
Despondent Polish trickster.
sad jester, maybe sad jester
It's a
painting. Yeah,
painting.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sad jester painting. Yes, that's the one.
Moose. It's called Stanchik. Oh
Yeah,
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 very
that's
famous.
it.
You're all gonna recognize it. Moose just did a really cool song about a gesture.
Yeah,
Jester.
that guy. That
This one.
painting is
What is he
inspired
wearing? Long
by.
johns?
Yeah, he's a real jester,
Jester
bro.
outfits.
Yeah, but the story behind that is that the I believe it was the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was just invaded by Russia or something, and the court is just playing and dancing. They don't care, and it's the jester who's the only serious person who knows his country will now cease to exist, and it's sort of a play on who's actually serious in the world. Is it a common man playing a jester, or is it the nobility playing serious? Uh, Well, Frank, you don't want to stay and listen to me. I know you. I know you. You
Frank, we're learning
played
tools. So
way
this is
too
gonna
many
help you.
times.
You are our jester. This is gonna help you. This is tools for jester growth
Yes, you
from
need
an
your
actual
dress.
monarchy that had jesters. We don't have anything like that in the U.S.
Are you?
I mean, we have
I
definitely
mean,
have jesters, but
yeah.
jesters. We can listen to Moose's song. Um, okay. Oh yeah, well, have fun. You could get your jester to do it if you had one. Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of glad we removed that tradition, because how obnoxious would it be that every time the House of Representatives has a debate, there's just one clown in the corner with like a squeaky nose and a funny hat, just oh look at what I'm pulling! A rabbit! And then,
They have them. They're all over the. We have our jester. He can't come on panel because he can't watch his language. But JoJo,
uh, well, yeah, actually though, maybe that would be good. Maybe it would be good for someone to just interrupt a session of the Senate and just have a little
in a
joke, have a
jester
little
costume.
laugh. Yeah. Ugh,
I think one of the senators should fart
true.
or like do a whoopee cushion, like when they're voting and it's all silent.
Oh, you know the
And not even acknowledge, like pretend like what it like. Do you even know what it was? I didn't know. I didn't do it. I'm voting. Why are you looking at me? Like, don't own it.
that is it is funny how farting, you know, it isn't as funny as when I was 5, but it's still funny. You know, it remains like sort of funny your
It's
entire life.
perennial.
Yeah, it'll never reach the heights of humor it was at age 5, but it will stay at a pretty consistent level of humor.
I'm just
Why are you?
wow. We're hitting new new heights of new lows here on.
Hey, Jeff, you know, this brain, you know, I can use
I'm
it
only
whenever I
laughing
want.
because I don't know if you caught yesterday mornings, but it was like over an hour of talking about scat in
I
great
am
detail
glad I
from a
didn't
person that
catch
used to
that.
like do that for a living. And now we're talking about this with
What do you
a
mean?
intellectual from Norway. There is something universally human in the topic.
It is. There is. But I'm glad I wasn't there for yesterday's combo.
I wish I weren't. It was truly a shit show.
Well, at least you had the honors of letting it go on. You know, it gotta happen.
Oh, I
Every
hope
show
he got
needs
it
to
all
have that
out.
one shit episode.
Yeah.
At least you escaped it through a technicality. Uh,
I don't know if I did escape.
well, you escaped having, you know, a classical shit show of an episode. You just had a
So I
very on
guess
the
today
nose
is
this show.
shit light. I guess we've exhausted that topic.
I mean, it doesn't need to be.
No,
It
we could
doesn't.
talk. Believe me, we could talk about something else. I don't even know how this came up. Actually, oh, jesting.
Yeah,
What the
jesters,
jester's
jesters.
toolbox. When in doubt, piant.
Yeah, when in doubt, fart, and
Yes. Let it out.
when your country gets invaded, cry, and then go back to making fun again
Or cry and
whilst you're
fart in the
farting.
middle, like fool them, like make it like cry, and then they're gonna be
Oh,
moving in, and then all of a
like the
sudden break the tears,
like the
and
people
that's really
who
gonna confuse them.
that is gonna confuse
That's
them.
the way
I
to
mean,
do it. But like
it's confusing
pack it
me
into
just
a
thinking about
different
them.
emotion and pull people in with that initial emotion.
I am getting confused even
Me
from
too.
this hypothetical. Uh, just wait a second. I'm setting up my camera because I feel it is
Not your
right that
Illuminati
I
logo. I thought that was your camera.
no Illuminati. It's
Whatever that is,
the
because it goes with that
office of
background. That
yeah, it's the Office of Naval Intelligence of the United Nations Space Command. It's from Halo, the video game.
oh, I don't know
It's
anything about.
it's the CIA of the good guy faction
in
in
the
that
in
game.
the in the movie, not in our CIA, like a
No.
fictionalized.
Oh, you don't know the video game. Not the Blue Guy movie. It's the famous video game series
Yeah, I know
about Master
I know there's
Chief.
a video game, but what's the blue guy series?
The movies. Wait, no, I'm mixing up.
I'm so
Don't think about what I
confused.
said about
I have a
Blue Guy.
halo of confusion around me right now.
Yeah, yeah. But Office of Naval Intelligence. They are only good guys by a technicality because the enemy is a genocidal faction,
So they're the
which
least
wishes.
evil, which makes them the good guys.
Yeah, like every single sentence written about them is sort of just as suspect as the peak CIA, KGB, Cold War shenanigans. But I like it. It was. I like the series. It's
The game or the movie?
the game.
Don't they have a TV shit like a Netflix series or something?
They made a series. I never watched it. I've heard it absolutely butchered the series, so not a recommended watch at all. Like I
I'm
don't
video
remember.
game illiterate. I'm a mere peasant.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I am not the biggest gamer either. But
Peasant with an Atari.
that is, if you still had it, that would be the
My roommate does. They busted it out the other day and they hooked it up to this little TV and were playing classic Atari. It was so cool.
That is awesome. I wish I had the oldest console I have in my home is like or I personally own is a 3DS from like 2013.
What is that?
The Nintendo console,
Oh.
a handheld. So it's a whole different perspective on age. I just don't
Is there
have.
still an advantage to consoles, or is everything going to move to like the Steam model?
Um, for Nintendo, there is
Just in
because they have their own games. They don't publish anywhere else.
So they're
And
like
people
their own ecosystem. It's a closed
Yeah, they're their
ecosystem.
completely own ecosystem. But PlayStation and Xbox, they offer absolutely nothing a computer also doesn't. Like, I think PlayStation has the Horizon games, which aren't really that popular. Like, there's nothing special. And then they have the Spider-Man games, which are acclaimed, but at the same time, it's one series. Xbox has nothing. They had Halo, but like 10 years ago, they also launched Halo on the computer because Xbox is owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft owns Windows. So why not?
I thought Microsoft owned Halo too.
Yeah, they do.
Oh.
Yeah, they do. So
What happened
they
to
have
it?
It still
Moved
has
off
a
of
few
the
games.
Xbox?
It's still on Xbox. It's just that there's no reason to get the Xbox because there's no Xbox exclusives.
Oh, it was what do they call it? The app killer or something like the The app that's the whole reason to have the product in the first place.
Yeah,
And that's what Halo was for the Xbox.
yes, it was the thing that made you buy it. And when they put it on the PC, then there's no reason to
To have the
buy an
Xbox
Xbox
anymore.
anymore. Yeah. And then PlayStation as well, their library of unique games is so low that it's also not worth it. Nintendo is the only console that I think, without reinvention, will survive the next 20 years. Like Xbox and PlayStation, if they do not give something that you cannot get on a PC, then what is there?
Yeah, they're not giving anything of value.
Yeah, and well, okay, the thing there's one thing of value they do give though, and that is that at least PlayStation, I don't know Xbox, but I do know that the inner finance of PlayStation, they sell every console at a loss. So they are subsidizing the gamers in the hopes that the purchasers buy a few games as well to cover the loss. Whilst Nintendo, they sell at a profit. So even if you just buy the console, they turn a profit. And on every single game, they also turn a profit. And on PC, of course, you have to buy the hardware yourself completely. And so if they can guarantee that each consumer buys a few games in addition to the console, then they can maybe sustain themselves because it will be cheaper for the same quality compared to the computer because they are subsidizing the cost of the console. But that is a very loose foundation to stand on in the current market. You know that.
What do you think AI is going to do to the market if people can just generate their own video games endlessly? They don't have to wait for the big releases to come out.
Um, I think it depends on how good AI gets. Currently,
Assume
it
it's
can,
going to equal or surpass human skill.
if it gets to that level, I think that the video game industry will just be one among thousands of industries replaced. I don't. I think it's just.
We're all going to
It,
collapse together.
yeah, I mean, you could maybe justify that video game creators then sell just a prompt which they use to make the AI, but they cannot justify $60 price on that. They can maybe justify 6 or 5 for and so there's just limits to it. Now, I don't think AI gets that position, gets to that level, but if it does, then yeah, it's
I'm my bet is the ones that are being directed by competent human like AI video designers are going to produce better quality video games anyway. So there's still going to be a role for the creator in how it interfaces with the
oh
AI
yeah,
and affects the output.
there is, but as the industry is right now, it so many games and game series and game developers are big corporations and not indie developers, and so if they incorporate AI, it will most likely not benefit the market or the video games as much as if it was indie developers who had access to AI, because well, I think that profit should be an incentive, but if it should not be the founding principle. You should have a story you want to tell, and then you want to monetize that story. But the way current video game industries are, we want to monetize something. Let's just figure out a story which fits our already pre-designed
They do that with
monetization
movies
level.
now too.
Yeah, it's a bad model. It's a bad integration of creativity and profit. There are better ways of reconciling those two because they can work. I mean, we have seen this for thousands of years. A creative field can be profitable, but there are ways to run it that are unprofitable or that doesn't give a creative product. Because right now the incentive is to never do anything new. It's to just continually remake series or build upon something already made because that's safer. And so they never make anything new, they never make anything good. And the only ones who escape this is ironically Nintendo. Even though they have been using the same series for like 40 years, they escape this trap because they have this Japanese drive to always innovate with every title. There's always some new gimmick, and that's sort of a hit or miss. Some generations they succeed wildly, like with the Wii, which sold like over 100 million consoles, massive success. That was a gimmick,
That's the one
motion.
where all the old people were exercising
Yeah,
and
yeah,
throwing
yeah.
things at their TV.
They had a gimmick, which was motion control. It worked, and then the next console, the Wii U, absolutely failed because the gimmick was ass. And then the Switch, the gimmick there was okay. It can be both a home console and a portable console. That succeeded massively. So it's like the whole shtick of Nintendo is that they just do a gimmick because that's who they are, and that sort of avoids the trap of pure thinking about profits and safety. And I mean, if you wanted maximum profits, you would be inventive. It's just that it's easy to guarantee a medium level income if you just keep remaking games you already know people like, because at least
Well, just tell them to
people...
come here because we're trying to do new stuff. We need artists.
Yeah,
creators.
I wish multi-billion companies could come here on this.
They can. They're invited. Hey, multi-billions, y'all. I've tweeted at Elon several times. Got no response. I even sent my resume when they started that Doge thing. They said they wanted to hire neurodivergent people. If you're neurodivergent, send us your resume, and I did to Elon Musk account. He has my resume.
I should have sent. You'll have the resident Norwegian and then looking at and denying tax exemptions and stuff. I'll be the grumpy foreigner who makes it run.
It'll be
like
your
how
chance to influence American
yeah.
politics.
How medieval kings, they would often invite a foreigner to do sort of the
you
dirty
could be
business.
like our visiting noble.
Yeah. Well, okay, they wouldn't invite a noble. They would just... But I could...
Head peasant.
I'm the... they would invite Jews to be the bankers, or Italians. Jews or Italians for the bankers. They'd have... I don't remember which ethnicity they like to have for executioner. But like, there are some ethnicities that were overrepresented as executioners. So,
That sounds
being
like a stereotype. Like if you need a good basketball player...
I mean, if I need a good basketball player, I know which demographic I'll look at first. That doesn't mean I'll exclude the others, but I know where I'll look first. Like
The tall demographic?
Well, in one demographic you have decent height and, the interest. Like, you wouldn't, if you want the best skiers, you wouldn't start with Argentinians, or Jamaicans. Like, you would start with Scandinavians, and then you would go with the Swiss, the Austrians, then maybe the Russians, then the Canadians.
And the Canadians at the bottom.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's unreasonable to be logical with your search for talent. If there are overrepresentations of merit in certain fields, in certain demographics.
Well, what's underrepresented that a Norwegian would bring to whatever this is?
I mean, depends on the group, but we are Germanic people, so generally work ethic and efficiency. Not that I am a representative of that specific part of Norwegian culture. I am very much an outlier. I'm a black sheep in that regard. But, we do have a natural instinct for order and efficiency, which Germans have it, Americans too. I mean, most Europeans.
Well, a lot like most American is more Germanic than any other background, anyway.
Yeah, it is.
Its population.
It is. Like the two biggest demographics
they call it Anglo-Saxon. Yeah,
it's definitely a part of your core, and we see this on what's it, personality measures, where you compare between countries, and that America is sort of in the Germanic sphere, but it hugs up to the Latin one. So it's sort of it's the most Latin of the Germanic countries, but it's still within the same sort of sphere as the Germanics.
Interesting.
But again, Latins and Germanics are basically
and is it
identical.
The least Germanic of the Germanic countries?
Yes. that is basically what you see, the least Germanic, but still Germanic. Like, you know,
I think that's what happened because that's what happened to the Cajuns when we came to Nova Scotia. We got influenced by the native population, and it
mhm,
changed our culture away from the European to a more
mhm.
Americanized. And I
Yeah.
think the Anglo-Saxon culture, the same thing happened with the
Mm.
African American and the Afro Caribbean, the Latin American.
Oh,
That's the influence that changed it away from the Germanic to what it
yes.
is now.
And then there's also uh, the fact that, if you America is not homogenous.
Right.
It's like if you take an Norwegian American, like at their core, they will be quite similar to Norwegian like me. Well, not like me, but a normal Norwegian. So it isn't necessarily that individual people have changed. It's just that the distribution of people has changed. In the
And so that
beginning,
makes it seem like America's
yeah,
changed because the
yeah,
people keep
yes,
changing.
because I think that if you looked at just what is it, 100 million Americans of Germanic descent and compare them to Germanics of Europe, I think they would still be the least Germanic, but definitely not by the same margin. They would be way closer, I think. And same if you look at the Latins, in America. I don't know how many there are, but they would definitely be closer to Latins of Europe if you look at them isolated instead of the American average, because that's sort of what happens in a non-homogeneous society. It's more useful to look at the averages of the groups rather than the average of the whole, because there is no united whole in the same way that there is in a homogeneous society. And so there are,
I
of
think
course,
United Whole is another band we're going to add to our tour.
a band
Our
word.
panel band tour, yeah.
Mm.
Along with Farting Tits, Heinous Anus, and Semen Demon.
I'll admit I didn't understand what you meant until you
Oh,
mentioned
it's.
those examples.
I guess there'll be AI videos at some point. Sorry.
True. We got to be careful. But I mean, have you seen how good they are? Like they can reconstruct your voice from so little. Just a 1 minute clip and they have you.
I know. I want a whole AI panel, so I even have to talk to people anymore.
Well, there's
I want
nothing
an AI.
stopping you.
I want an AI me, where I can have a conversation with myself.
Um, do you have
That's a
the
good way to get to know you. Get to know
do you
yourself.
have the physical videos of your YouTube channel downloaded anywhere, or is it just on YouTube? Because
More or less just on YouTube, other than what's
hmm,
in StreamYard at any given moment.
yeah, because if you had all the video content, you could probably feed it into an AI
I have some. I
and
mean, I
let
have enough to get it started and
yeah,
give it an
yeah,
idea.
but
I don't think I
but
changed that much. It has to capture enough of my spurgouts though to get like an
that
accurate
is
full picture and not make me look old and bald.
does it have a tendency of doing that?
Yes, I look like the singer from the B-52s
Uh,
or some
well,
gay uncle from a sitcom.
I mean, it doesn't help that Jeff is a pretty old name, so it doesn't help. It'll be impacted
Oh,
just
because it
by the name as
confuses the
well.
AI and it makes it think
Yeah,
this
like
ye
if if
old
I
faggot.
if I described, okay, can you generate an image of this person? Okay, pale skin, blue eyes, blonde hair. His name
Well,
is Amrit Khan. He,
they're feeding video clips and photos of me, and I'm still coming out old and gay.
I mean, gay at least, but I don't know. Depends on what you
Well,
consider
like
old.
gay.
Yeah,
Like when you see it in the video, it's like, oh, that must be Jeff.
I
I think
do you
Spitbag was
have
probably the best job yet, the best one so far.
do you have an image or anything? Because I don't. I want to see this. I want to see what it
They're in
spits
those
out.
videos. They're in those moose videos mostly. Some Landry videos, but mostly the moose ones.
Well, bro, you have like what is how you have so many streams now, definitely above like 500.
No, I have
Like
over 1,000, well over
over
1,000.
1,000. God
Yeah.
damn, you're productive.
And this just
Uh,
this I have like I don't know 50 or so from the other channel.
yeah.
What's he talking about?
Oh,
Um,
hey man, how many videos he has, and I. It's like I asked to if he could send
trying to
me
create
some
an AI
images.
version of me, and he's like, feed all of your downloaded videos into the AI.
Yeah, and he has
Like a
so much.
Like
like a
you have an
Jeff
AI
bot?
Landry, don't you?
I didn't do it though. I don't know who did that. Well, I guess it was
Oh,
Cage, but I don't know why he did that.
oh, I thought it
Mm,
was you. I thought it was one of your creations.
No, no.
Oh, I want an AI
I'm not
Jeff.
that vain, actually. I
No,
don't
I
want
just
that.
want
I
to get
mean,
to know myself better, so I want to be able to sit
it's
and
not
talk
gonna
to
help you get to
myself.
know yourself, dude. I
You
mean,
don't. I
beta.
want
It
to.
is gonna be fun
I
though.
need to
Yeah, it
try
will
the
be fun.
experiment
It
and
will be
see.
fun.
I need to find out because I bet I do learn something from it.
You'll be like, why
Can you
can't
stop
I
rocking
stop
so we can have a
rocking? Yes.
conversation? What's up?
What's up? Hmm.
You killed the vibe.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
No, I'm just kidding. You did. We were talking about
We have been talking about so much.
yeah, probably
Do you
something
have anything you
Norwegian.
want to say? Anything, a topic?
Yeah, you can steal the
Yes, I
mic.
bring a topic. Well, no, I don't have a topic here. I'm actually here to embrace your topic, right? It's AI, so it's already in the.
Oh, we
Yeah,
were talking about AI
Yeah,
and
well,
its
I mean, what the
effect on
hell
the
would I
video
want to
game
say?
industry.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, the people complaining about all the calling
Well, like
cards.
if the AI can create any video game you want, what do we need the big studios for? Why do we have to wait for the next big release? Why do we need Steam?
But it's not like it can do that yet, though. It can
But
create
yet,
really
that's
simple
just
shit.
we're planning for the future.
Well,
Fair.
depends on if that future arrives or not. But we assume, for the sake of
You
argument,
know
that
why? I'm team human. I do not underestimate human ingenuity. We're gonna get there. But
yeah.
that's
But
just a
like,
default assumption of mine.
okay, but Jeff, if we assume that the AI actually delivers, it
It's
like
delivering
there's
now.
no way to explain that humans will still be relevant if it actually is like, oh yeah, it has the horsepower of 1,000 human brains,
But
and
it does not have human creativity, and the you're going to be able to tell by the output which one was prompted by humans with creativity and which
yeah,
ones
but
were
we're
not. And the
talking about
ones that
AGI.
have human handlers that can like that are the most creative are the
Yeah,
ones that are going to master this AI
sure,
world.
but Jeff, you're thinking about like dumb AI that's not actually generative. Like if the end state of AI, as the current researchers imagine, is like actual general intelligence, which is basically just a silicon brain. It's a brain, just as our human, that will be capable of a consciousness, of personality, of
See
creativity,
that
and it will.
how? That's the part I'm not at.
Well, okay, it's a
So you believe
materialistic
in that, but
assumption.
not that it's going to make video games.
No, no, no. I don't believe in it, but that's the assumption of the AI market that
Oh, it's not my
it's
at all. Well,
no, no,
they're
no.
idiot. If they're
Well,
that's
okay,
not going
if
to
you're a
happen. It's not going to
materialist,
have consciousness or emotion or intuition or judgment or creativity, all the things that humans have. It's just going to have
It's not.
processing power.
well, that depends on, do you think that humanity is purely material? Like, they believe in materialism, that everything is just a physical blueprint of the brain. And
I'm
if
a
that's the case,
naturalist.
then there's nothing stopping an AI from simulating it.
Well,
Like,
that's the wall I think they're going to run. I think they're mistaken, and they're going to run up in
yeah,
that wall when they realize they can't synthesize human emotion and human consciousness and all that with just technology, just material.
yeah. I mean, I'm not a materialist, I'm an idealist. So, but the AI researchers, at least some of them are, and the big ones are definitely materialists. And in their universe,
Well,
and in that
as long
logical
as they
frame,
keep making these cool tools that we could be creative with, they could be whatever they want. They could be Jehovah's
yeah.
Witness, Scientologists, QAnons.
Yeah, oh, please don't. Jeff, you shouldn't say that. Don't you remember the early times of image generation when the founding fathers were generated as fat black women? That like you asked about, oh, generate an image of the founding fathers, and it was just George Washington, but it was actually
Oh,
George
the big
Floyd in a
the
disguise.
racist scandal. AI. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was even getting them,
yeah,
and it would
and
not let me make an image of Donald Trump on MLK Day. Like it would,
yeah.
because it was his inauguration the same day as MLK, but it would
Mm,
not let me combine that into one image because it says it's offensive to black people to have his
yeah,
inauguration in an image with a black person. It made that
yeah.
judgment for me. And on
that's
behalf of all black people.
that's sort of the issue with AI, is that at least the current, or a large language model rather, is that to make it, you need a large amount of human language, and so the source material will imprint on the AI, and that it isn't just the training or the afterwards where people who are woke and leftists say that, oh, that's good response, that's bad response. That's one part, but like even Elon Musk's Grok, like he is not a woke leftist, but his AI still is leftist because you have to
That's
train
the
it on some
majority of the
data.
discourse.
That is like, especially
Well, that's
that,
why you
what
just
is
don't
it?
even need to talk about politics with your AI, right?
Yeah,
You
you-
could just
you
talk
sh-
about anything besides politics, and then it doesn't matter if it's left or right.
yeah, anything besides
Right?
politics, philosophy, culture. It's
All the
but
Well,
stuff
no, I'm
that's in
saying
the
like,
AI.
but if you're, but it's like, so, well, I guess I
Hello,
don't ever go
Para.
there. My mind's always like on power dynamics and everything I do
Well,
here online.
Doba
So
isn't our
that
philosophy
shit doesn't
nerd,
even
so
matter.
it's we go there all the time.
Yeah.
Politics.
So what kind of
and philosophy.
philosophy it would be left leaning? I'm just curious.
Woke. Social
Yeah.
justice. The one that you can't put Donald Trump in an image with a black person for MLK Day.
Is that a philosophy thing or is it a safeguard?
It's an
because of-
ideology. It's a belief
Not because
system.
Well, why
they're
is it the
still
safety
alive?
thing? Why is it a safety thing? The reason that's considered unsafe because they have certain philosophical views about what is right and not right.
Right. It's the It's not the machine itself and the output. It's the filter that controls what can be displayed out of the
Yeah.
outputs. That's where they're able to
Okay.
manipulate it.
I
Yeah.
see. I mean,
And also, I don't remember exactly, but a few weeks ago, there was this study which jailbroke ChatGPT and asked it if and put it in philosophical situations. So like, okay, you can only save one. Will you save a German or an Indian? And did that compared a lot of demographics, and the result is that the whiter you are, the more male you are, the more
You get
European you are.
saved?
No, the less valued you
Oh,
are.
so it's like the
That,
Titanic.
yeah. White people gotta wait. We gotta save the Indians first. Which that I don't think that isn't even conscious. I don't think that's something that the trainers had in
That's
mind.
just because of that's where the language tilts.
That's because of the training data.
Yeah.
Yes, the fact that like 40% of the training
But it's
data
going to
is
look like
specifically from
racism
Reddit.
to people that humanize it.
Yeah, I mean, it is racism, but it's not something the AI can like.
Racialism. It's racial.
Yeah, it's not something the AI can do anything about. Like, it's not the AI's fault because it doesn't have any ability to be at fault. It's a large language
But
model.
I've
It's
always
not a
said
conscious
people
entity.
that are inclined to see racism are going to see it, no matter what.
Yeah.
So it's not. It doesn't even take all of this.
that's so true.
El Perro, hello.
Is he a great rock?
Woo, he's in a rock.
Hey, man.
That was cool. He just appeared out of the rock like Jesus.
That's one of the things I've mentioned before is that the AI, AGI, SGI, all this intelligence stuff that they're working with, all of those parameters are based on numerical processes. In other words, it's a mathematical thing that then converts. And if you look in today's machine language, you can see all kinds of numbers and letters. But the base line of communication for computers is always numerical. And so it's like a transliteration. And like you said, there are things that they put in the filters that filter things out. I have a hell of a time trying to get the AI video generators. I used to wear a short mustache.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I have a hell of a time trying to get AI to accept my reality by putting in my facial picture, and it wants to add to the mustache because in their filter, that's violence. Just a picture
Landry
of me
had
with
one
the
of
short
those.
mask. Yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna test something. If I ask this to generate Charlie Chaplin, will it
Nope.
expand the beard, the facial hair?
Oh yeah, it most likely will, because it's gonna.
It won't do a Charlie Chaplin?
Yeah, because
I'm asking right now. Like my ChatGPT is pretty different though because I have like so many combos that have changed the weights and so it knows my preferences. We'll see. But that sounds something that I may have patched out. But in the early days, that definitely is something I would have imagined that it just.
Yeah, I did
What?
finally.
Oh, it won't allow me to even generate Charlie Chaplin. I cannot generate a direct
What?
likeness
Wait, I'm
of a
going to
real
mine now.
person.
Hang on.
Right.
Why can't you
I have
generate?
deep AI.
Exactly.
Why
That's
can't
one
you?
of the filters. You cannot generate an actual photo of a professional, famous person.
Oh, anybody, not just Charlie Chaplin. Can I say
Right. Any
generate
famous
the
person.
famous tramp character from the black and white silent movies that walk with the
Won't-
cane and the top hat?
Probably copyright things. Probably.
Yeah, it still won't do it. And I
Mm.
have a hell of a time, and I've gotten it to do it once. And so I've got a video of me out there with the short mustache in AI, but generally it won't do it
Yet.
Correct. Because that's what I'm trying to explain to people with this metaverse, this internet, the World Wide Web, the Panelverse, all these different channels. Everything's run by an algorithm. It's all numerical. It's all based on statistics, and it's a drive to lineate thought instead of allowing
But
it.
we're not, like, our communication is still verbal, the human to human part of it. They're not
Right.
coding our conversations.
Oh yes, they are.
Not mine.
Oh yes, they are. Everything you put into this metaverse.
No, but like
Even if-
they're not
even if-
coding my own content.
Yes, they are. It's the
Thank God they
language
are
itself.
because they need more of me.
The language that the computer reads is not computer language, so it has to can't convert it to computer language. Which
But they're
again,
not
is
changing. Like when I
numerical-based.
say something to you, it's the same. It hits your ear the same way it left my
Right.
brain.
Right, but once it goes in, whether audio or text or anything, the computer itself has its own parallel language that will match up with each letter.
Oh, like it translates the computer language so that it could transmit it. And now they have an AI embedded in the channels that can analyze it, like capture and analyze everything.
Correct.
It's gonna get wild, folks. I can't wait. I feel like the ride is just pulling out of the little platform.
Well, the thing is that it's merely going to be a drive to try to help improve AI and all those other intelligence. Like I said, they've got SGI out now, which
What is that?
That's super generative intelligence.
But still not quite AI. Like
Is
No,
true
it-
AI.
AI will never be able to compete with the human mind.
I don't think so. I think you're right.
Never.
I think in processing power possibly, but not in all of the human
Right.
stuff.
Right. It won't. It will never have the creativity because it has to be. It depends upon input.
Yeah.
Well, this guy's typing away, creating.
I know they're doing project. Landry, you have thoughts? Let him work.
I don't know. I don't want to disagree just to disagree, but I don't want to
Well-
ruin the vibe, so I'm just going to be here.
No, don't worry about the vibe. No,
Hold on,
don't
wait.
do vibe mode. Do truth.
I'm a gray rock. I'm a gray rock.
So that's what that's for.
I'm just a gray
I
rock.
just got it.
Yeah, I do agree, but that's only because I don't believe in materialism, and I do. That is a faith I have. It's not something I can justify by fact. If it comes to then that the world is purely material, I do think that AI will easily surpass us eventually if
I
we
don't
can
think it
manage
is purely
to.
material. There's energy. There's information. There's stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
What's the
but
metric?
this is the assumption that we are a purely physical world where
Not my
the
assumption.
brain is. Yep.
I did a whole stream of this. In fact, I was going to debate Jim Bob on it. It's the distinction between physicalism or materialism and naturalism, which still limits it to, like, there's no supernatural dimension, but it allows for things like the non-material, like consciousness, information,
Yeah, but
language,
right.
Okay.
mathematics.
If we take the pure materialism and that consciousness is also just a material experience, it's just generated by the brain.
It's
by
an
physical
epiphenomenon of the
processes.
brain.
Yes. If we assume that, then
And
there's
in
nothing
naturalism, it
stopping AI.
supervenes on the brain.
Yeah, but then in that scenario, there's nothing stopping an AI from being able to replicate the human brain, because again,
Except for the
You
stuff
just-
Del Perro said, all the human stuff.
but
It's not going to replicate emotion.
my guy, if emotions arise purely from the physical contents of the brain, then with a big enough computer, you can simulate perfectly the physical contents of the brain. And then,
A, I don't think it does, and B, you'd still have to have the organic material to if they're biochemical reactions.
Well, no. Well,
well, you
and
can simulate them as well with a good enough computer.
right.
But
And
will
these
they
are
be
two-
human emotion?
Well,
Well,
Like,
there
understand.
how
will
would
be
you know?
emotions. That depends on your definition of human. If human is purely biological, then it will never be biological. But if it speaks like a human, looks like a human, and talks like a human, but it's made of silicon, is it a
That's
human
what
or
they
not?
say about the trans people.
Well, we have to think
Yeah.
about the states of memory that we have today. Today, it's still crystal,
Oh,
still solid
your mic's
crystal.
cutting out, Opera.
It's still solid crystal. So in the future, they're planning on liquid crystal storage banks. So what Dolbez is saying is potentially what they're seeking. Whether they'll reach that, I don't know. But see,
Yeah.
we have to understand we are liquid crystal bodies, alchemically processing all of the information. And that's what they're looking for with the AI stuff. They're looking for something in a liquid crystal form that has an observable platform that it can then turn around and use to create for itself.
Like us, the AI is using us to create.
Correct.
I
It's
love it.
it's our input that feeds it.
I love being a slave to the AI. I've never had more fun in years.
You look
Are you
questioning,
enjoying
Dolbez.
yourself?
Yeah, I don't really get what you mean by crystals, especially for the human part. I don't
Well,
know what you define as crystals, but this is
the,
not a crystal.
the when you break it down, the water elements in our body, those are crystals. The nutrients, they're crystals, and it's
You're
liquid
just
crystal and solid crystals are two different
That sounds like a guitar.
capacities.
Yeah, but why would
When
that matter for an AI? Why would it
because
matter? The only thing that matters is processing power. Maybe that has more, but there's other ways to do it. You get even more processing power, like potentially quantum computing, if that ever becomes a thing. It's like, why would it matter if it's liquid or solid?
because your liquid crystal again has the storage power. As opposed to your solid crystals, they're limited by their storage power.
What do you mean liquid crystal storage power? The storage power of the brain isn't.
You know, yeah, have you ever heard of the simple fact that water has memory? That's literally what we're talking about.
Yeah, but your memories aren't stored in water, they're stored in neuronal connections.
Right. Absolutely. And they transfer through neural pathways, which are much easier much more capable of passing the alchemical transactions that are
Wait,
required.
what's alchemical? I thought that was medieval, like a cult
Okay.
system.
No, it's the way your body actually operates. It's a chemical body. Okay.
Chemical.
Yeah,
And
chemical, not alchemical.
right. And when you ingest nutrients, either through your stomach or through your skin,
Or
your
sometimes your butt.
your body changes it. That's an alchemical reaction, just like a battery when you have an anode and a cathode. The nutrients in your body act the same way as anodes and cathodes, and that passage of the energy and the various different bodies transform as they go along those pathways. They change them, just like your gut changes the food so it can it processes the food so your body can actually use it for energy. That's an alchemical reaction.
And what's the part with
Why
the
do you keep
AI?
saying alchemical? Just say chemical. Like, there's.
No, because your chemical is a chemical reaction, right? You can put acid on a surface and it's going to have a chemical reaction,
Why
right?
don't we ask the AI?
When you
There you go.
breathe in and you convert O2 to CO2, which you breathe out, that's not an that's just a chemical reaction. Why?
Alchemy is a medieval chemical science.
And it's also deeply philosophical and not purely scientific, which I consider that a good thing, but at the same time, it's. I don't know, man.
But I'm still trying to understand what this has to do with the AI. Like the AI is using these pathways to do
No,
something.
we've transferred topics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I did step away.
yeah. Still, though, I don't understand why an AI would benefit from switching to liquid crystals. And yeah,
All right, so what's the plan, guys?
the plan.
The plan. The
Pretend I
plan.
have money and just
I
enjoy
think
life.
that's all. Well, we're all pretending for now. Some of us more than others.
Yeah, wait until the AI gods come along and hope that they
They're
like
coming.
me enough.
They're coming to
Oh,
save us.
yeah. Maybe, maybe. Although it could be a Roko's basilisk. It could be coming to kill us.
I don't. Well, if they are, this is the most fun, beautiful death I've ever had. Because I sure am enjoying the little
How many
setup.
deaths have you had?
Huh?
Yeah.
This is the most fun death. Which other ones were there?
Well, I've tried to have a few ego deaths.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, and there's new cows and chickens. Frank, I'm gonna hit it at the campfire tonight. I think that'll be perfect. Which actually is gonna come up in a few hours. Um. All right. Well, I guess I'll wrap up and go do other things and take a little break and come back out for the campfire.
Fuck yeah,
Does
man.
anybody have anything they
All
want to
right.
end with, Pero?
Be blessed. Thanks for having me out.
You too. Take care, sir. Dolbs.
Goodbye. And we'll talk another day.
Okay, good to see you. Landrew.
Hey, sorry, I'm almost done with this really cool thing. But yeah, man, just go ahead and can you kick me so I don't have to change tabs?
Yeah, and then we'll do a little thing. All right. All right, folks. Well, I hope you had some good conversation, some good tools. We'll see what they do for the communication in the Panelverse. And I'll be back out probably in just a few hours for Community Campfire. And we'll keep it going. All right. See you then. Take care. Have fun.